I'm starting to think it was an insult getting booked on this show. I don't think that was. I think I should have figured it out when Derek renamed the group chat Fat Nigga Monthly. I was like, that's not the name of a show in Chicago. This don't feel right. Alrighty, yeah, I'm from Chicago. I'm born and raised in Chicago. One of my favorite things about Chicago, this city, is all the unwritten rules we have as a city. My favorite unwritten rule, you guys might have heard of it, my favorite unwritten rule about Chicago is that you can't put ketchup on a hot dog. You all heard that, right? Like, even if you're from out of town, if you're a visitor, it doesn't matter. You can't put ketchup on a hot dog. You can shoot a 12-year-old, but you can't put ketchup on a hot dog. That's the one thing this city says about it. Now, can we all admit, can everybody in this room admit that that's a white rule, all right? That's a rule for only white people to follow. Tell a black person you can't eat ketchup. I want to watch you tell a black person they can't eat ketchup. Because like I said, I'm from Chicago, I was born and raised in the city. When I grew up in the south side of Chicago, all black neighborhood. And over the years, I saw my neighborhood change a lot. I saw it get more and more gentrified. All the black-owned businesses became white-owned businesses. And this is a real fact. This is a real fact about my neighborhood. My childhood hospital, the place where I was born, the place where I was treated for various illnesses, my childhood hospital is now a McDonald's. I've lost everything, nigga. I'm keeping the ketchup. Like, that's all I know. Let me switch for a second. When you look at me, do I look poor to you? Like, do I look like actively poor? Because I've had like a little bit of a poverty wake-up call the last few months. Like the last 6 months, homeless people stopped asking me for money. They're like, we're not gonna bark up this tree, he's one of us. In addition to that, one day I was at work, I was doing my job, and a man walked up to me and gave me bread. You know how far you gotta look for a nigga to give you bread? And here's what he said verbatim. He said, I can't find any homeless people on this side of town, so you'll have to do. Right? I was hurt, obviously. But I took the bread, niggas. I'm not gonna eat hummus with my hands. I needed bread. The guy's an angel. I needed him. Also, one day I was at 7-Eleven. I went there to get some pizza. I go up to the register to pay for the pizza. The clerk says, "Do you want to pay for this with your link card?" I remember thinking, damn, all right. Like, that's a brave assumption to make. And for anybody who doesn't know, like, a link card is a way for low-income families to be able to afford food. I'm not knocking the link card. I think it's a great idea. But in this guy's mind, every minority has one ready to use at a moment's notice. And I remember thinking, I got a choice to make. Do I want to be a strong black man in this moment, tell this guy he's racist for assuming I can't afford my food? Or do I want to pull out my link card? But my real debate was between being a strong black man and swallowing my pride, so I can swallow some pizza. I chose the pizza over being black. But if I really had to decide what means more to me, being a strong black man or owning my own pizza, pizza wins by a landslide. Because pizza's been there for me in my times of need, It's been there for me when I'm sad, when I'm lonely, when I'm tired, when I'm hungry. Being a black man has caused all those things to happen. Like, don't get me wrong, I love being black, right? It's cool. But I feel like being black is like the broccoli of races. Like, maybe it's good for you at the end of it, but sometimes it's really hard to stomach. I feel like being white is like the cheesecake of races. It's really fun, it's really good, but if you live your whole life like that, you'll never be a good athlete or a dancer. I had to switch gears for a second. Before I do this next joke, you gotta know I'm okay. I'm doing okay. You ever try to kill yourself? You ever try to kill yourself and wake up and now you're just late for work? And then you get there and everyone's like, Tristan, do you want to be at work? Like, do you want to be here? I'm like, I don't even want to be. I don't really know what like the afterlife looks like, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like a meeting with management. But I do think that's a good name for death, you know, a meeting with management. Like Grandpa died, he had a meeting with management, honey. And sometimes I feel like praying is like talking to God on Zoom, but his camera's turned off. And like, are you even listening? Like, is anybody there? I feel like killing yourself is showing up outside of God's house. It's like, I know you're in there, now you gotta talk to me. And whenever I do this joke, audiences tend to get worried for me. I get that, I understand that I'm, in the dark talking about suicide to a bunch of niggas on a Sunday. That sounds weird, I get this looks troublesome. But here's the thing, I think it's crazier not to think about suicide. Like, how do you not think about it? You don't even think about it? How's your life so good you can't commit suicide? Like, there's maybe 12 people on earth that we really need as a society, and 4 of them are the Obamas. You're not that special. Like Kurt Cobain killed himself. Robin Williams killed himself. You think you're better than them? For real? Again, I'm doing okay. But I wanted you to feel bad for a little bit. Alrighty, recently I had one of the best weeks of my comedy career. I had one of the best weeks I've ever had in my comedy career. I did 7 shows in 7 days. 6 of them went well. One of them, actually it was in this room, last time I was in this room, one of them went so badly that members of the audience started to heckle me, then they threatened me, then they waited for me outside of the Laugh Factory to beat me up, and I had to be escorted to a car by security. Does anybody want to hear the joke that made those people that angry? You asked for it. So I'm just doing the joke, okay. I don't think there's anything worse during the height of COVID than seeing somebody fatter than you not wearing a mask. It's like, you think you're gonna be okay, for real? It's like, I'm afraid of COVID. Like, I'm very afraid of COVID, because it's a disease that kills poor, overweight black people. They could have called that Tristan disease. So because of that, I've changed my entire life. I've changed my entire life because of COVID. I've tried to eat better, I exercise, I walk like 6 miles a day. I've actually lost quite a bit of weight over the last year and a half. Thank you, I appreciate that. I should warn you, you don't regret those claps in about 1 minute. Again, you may not know my comedy that well, but this tends to be a twist, so I'm just warning you what's down the road. All right, see it. Last year and a half, I lost like a little bit of weight. But one thing I noticed about myself is as I've gotten better physically, I've become a worse person mentally, Like, I have a lot of bad thoughts. Like, part of me, kinda, wishes COVID lasted a little bit longer. And honestly, it still might. We're not out of the woods yet. But like, I kinda wish COVID was like a 4-year disease. Because if it lasted for 4 years, if I had 4 years to like eat better, 4 years to exercise, I would look amazing at the end of it. Also, this happened a couple months ago. There was a big scandal in the news. I don't know if you guys might have heard it. The Chicago cops had a really big scandal in the news. Chicago cops killed a 12-year-old kid. It was a very sad story. Because of that, there was a protest. Then after the protest, there was a march. About halfway through the march, I started thinking, if we keep walking, I'm gonna hit my step goal for the day. And that's when I realized, on some level, the cops killing kids saves me. I'm gonna live so much longer than 12 because of this. I'm about 10 dead children from physical fitness. The children are my future, all right? And on some level, I think that's why Martin Luther King did all those marches. Like, I'm sure he wanted civil rights, but I think he also wanted to look hot. Because if you examine the situation, if you really look at it closely, Martin Luther King was a Southern black preacher. Now I live in the South. I don't know if you've ever seen a Southern black preacher. Them niggas are 350 pounds all the time. I think somewhere in King says, like, you know what? The news is all around here. I got all these cameras on me. The camera adds 10 pounds. But nigga, civil rights takes away 15. I gotta do these marches. Thank you very much. Give it up for your host.